Pierce.
Wow. Didn't mean to clear the room. First of all, I want to thank the mayor and the council for giving me time tonight to speak. I appreciate that, and also staff. It's going to be real simple. The best part about it is you've asked all the hard questions already, so I think I'll be able to answer anything you have left. 27 years ago, my life changed dramatically. We had a daughter, and 3.5, 4 years after that, our second daughter was born, and we made a big decision. Up until that time, I had been a member, active member of the community that wherever I lived, as a coaching my brother, my sisters, and working with the schools that I was involved with. But when the daughters were born, we had to make a decision, and Mr. Marshall was touching on, and that was to find a place to raise our family with the good school district. And the decision we made was to leave San Francisco and come to San Bruno. It was a city that I had some knowledge of because one of my jobs, in fact, where I met my wife, was bringing kids from San Francisco down to San Bruno Mountain Park for summer camp. And I fell in love with the city then, and I had the opportunity when the kids were born to come back down here. Immediately upon moving into San Bruno, with kids, you know what you do. You start getting involved with all the programs that the kids are involved with, and steadily, but slowly but steadily, I've been growing within those programs. Started with the schools, extended to sports groups, and progressed to the Citizens Oversight Committee for the San Bruno High School District, which was a huge learning experience for me. Along the way, my wife and I have both become heavily involved in the soccer community at the local, area, and national level, and we have a pretty good perspective of more than just this community. What I would bring to this council and to the city is a passion that I've lived with for my whole life and developed through the various programs I've worked. I'm a coach at heart, a team builder, and a facilitator. And I really understand what it takes to solve problems, overcome concerns, and set objectives. And that's what I look forward to. I'm impressed with this city. I have no intention of leaving this city. The council has been doing a great job for many years, and as well as staff. I've really had a chance through the past couple of years to come to a couple of meetings. Some of the presentations have astounded me, and you'd never take for granted what this city is doing, but I'm very impressed with the direction that we're going, and I'd like to continue working with this team.
Greg, if you, in your position with AYSO, is it a policy position? In other words, do you make policy, or do you just, is it more a day-to-day involvement in team efforts and things?
I'm a volunteer. And basically, I started out on the local level, Region 249, which represents San Bruno. And along the way, we've become involved in the area level, which is the immediate cities surrounding here, Pacifica, Daly City, South San Francisco, Brisbane, and Millbrae. No, simple answer is no. I work with developing the new regions and existing regions. And I also work every Saturday with the local group.
Okay. You also mentioned that you're a trained facilitator.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
A trained facilitator. Glad you asked. What I've done was I received some training at work many years ago, and it's allowed me to be to work with several groups within the San Francisco Chronicle to facilitate reaching goals. And basically what you do is there's an objective, a concern that is set, and the client is identified, and the role of the facilitator is to help the client solve that issue, whether it's budget, whether it's bringing in a new process, whether it's eliminating positions. You develop a clear set of goals, you build a team that understands the assignment, you meet until the task is complete, document and report the status of work to the client, complete all assignments on time, and one of the most important parts of it is to measure what you've accomplished to make sure that you stay on course. Did that answer?
Yeah. Have you been involved in any kind of labor negotiations through your job at the Chronicle?
Oh, not as the labor negotiator, but I do represent the company with the labor force. There's several unions involved with the San Francisco Chronicle.
Mm-hmm.
So we have collective bargaining agreement that we have to hold them accountable for too.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Irene?
They keep looking at me. Thank you. Where would you put your energy for the next 5 years in San Bruno? Or where should San Bruno put its energy?
I'm going to echo what several people have said already, and one of the main areas is downtown. It's without a doubt a huge area of opportunity to improve what we have and to also generate income and to bring more citizens to San Bruno. More active, newer thoughts, newer ideas, energy. That's the main area that I see.
Okay, if you could change one thing about San Bruno, what would you change?
Well, it's not a perfect city by any means, but you know, I hate to do this, but I'm going to also agree with the school system. We were lucky. We were very active parents in the school district, and that seemed to help with the process. But I'm also involved with the school. I've been involved with all the schools now, and I still see quite a few kids not being serviced by the schools. Now, I'm not sure what the council's ability to influence the school districts, but I certainly know that as council members and representatives of San Bruno, you have an obligation to ensure that the students, the youth of the city, are served. And if you're not already involved, you should get more involved and make sure that our kids are getting the best education possible.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Vice Mayor?
What is your view or position on the potential or possibility of shared services, whether it be public safety or other departments?
Somehow I knew you'd ask that question, and luckily I've
I'm
had a
trading
few
off.
minutes. Yeah. The environment that I work in has undergone so many changes. The San Francisco Chronicle, we had a joint operating agreement for many years. When the economy changed, the way we did business changed, and it's been a tough process for many years to stay viable, to stay in the business of making money as well as providing a service. You are obligated, I'm sure you've taken an oath. I know you've taken an oath, and I'm not sure what the oath says, but I'm sure it states that you have an obligation to uphold the best interests of the city and to listen to staff as well, and to come to a decision that best serves the majority.
I can just tell you the oath doesn't tell us we have to listen to staff. I think they would like to put that in the oath.
Uphold the Constitution.
But no. Going back to a previous question I had asked as far as budgetary process. So again, we're going to sit at 2010, 2011, look at and review budgetary issues. Do you have any views or ideas of what we might do or could do if we were faced with, we'll use the number we've been using tonight, a $500,000 shortfall?
Well, you're going to have to do what you have to do to stay in business. I wanted to compliment the staff. They had a great meeting where they sat down with all the groups, and I don't recall what the name of the meeting was, but this was at the time when a lot of cities, I believe it was Richmond or Martinez, was going bankrupt, and the city staff took a strong approach to ensuring that they did not go down the same route that some other cities had gone down. And you do what you have to do. You have to make tough decisions. You have to make smart decisions, and you have to take a good look at what the options are, work together as a team of council members and the mayor, as well as the staff, and come up with a decision that's good for the city. And it's a hard one sometimes, but probably it's going to be a pretty much of a light bulb type idea that's right before you. They're not easy, but if you want to stay in business and offer the best services and attract new citizens, and that's what you have to do.
Ken?
Greg, in 22 and a half years, how do you feel about San Bruno now? Other than the downtown.
I see opportunities. The years that I've spent on the Park and Rec Commission, it's a passion for me with the youth. We're making advances on how we serve the community, but we certainly have opportunities there as well. Youth organizations in the city can improve what they're offering. I've also traveled to many cities, and I know that other cities have done a little better job at greening, at providing services. But I'm satisfied that the opportunities are here, and that we're aware of them, and that we're going to take steps to remedy them.
Okay. Did you come up with any, deal with any difficult decisions when you were serving on the high school, the Citizens Oversight Committee?
Absolutely.
Tell us about one.
The biggest one was that,
I know you did.
yeah, no, we were, it's a sore point with me and several other members that were on the committee that we were not able to fully do the duty that we were asked to do, and we weren't really minding the stores properly as we should have. It was a great learning experience. I had no experience with any kind of with money at that level, but I learned enough that it is not monopoly money, which is the way that it was presented to us. And we made some tough decisions. We were really only an advisory committee, but we added our input. I worked alongside the mayor, ex-mayor of Burlingame. The mayor of Foster City was involved with the group as well as many leaders of industry in the neighborhood. And I wish we could have completed and got the best bang for the money that was out there. I don't feel we did, and I'm kind of embarrassed about that.
With that learning experience, what would do you think you can bring something like that to the city with what you've experienced in bureaucracy, in government bureaucracy?
Absolutely. I was a little naive, not so naive now. I've had a chance to work with a couple of better leaders since that time, and at a local and a national level, and you really have to look and work a little bit harder than we looked and worked, and you just can't listen to what they're trying to give you. Again, it was an advisory committee, so there really wasn't an opportunity to do much besides listen and make some advisory remarks. They weren't asking us to make policy decisions. But if you are going to be making policy decisions, it's your obligation to study and investigate and make sure the decisions you're making are factual and best for the community.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
Anything else for Mr. Pierce? Greg, thank you very much.
You're welcome.